Karen was still wearing her funeral black when the court clerk handed her the injunction. "Effective immediately," I said, flipping the folder open. "You are barred from trespassing, harassing, or initiating any land seizure proceedings against the Richter property." She blinked at the judge's signature like it was written in Sanskrit. "You can't do this," she stammered. "I'm the HOA president." I adjusted my tie and smiled. "I'm the Assistant Attorney General for the state of Pennsylvania. Please, take a seat. My name is David Richter. 3 weeks ago, I buried my grandfather, Walter. He was a Korean War veteran and the last soul to resist selling out to Meadowbrook Estates. His 120-acre farm stood untouched for 60 years, right on the edge of what Karen Flemington called Phase 3 expansion. Karen used phrases like neighborhood synergy without irony. I'd spent a decade prosecuting white-collar crime. I knew exactly what she was. And when Grandpa died, she didn't even wait for the dirt to settle before she made her move. While we were still in the funeral home parking lot, Karen appeared with a manila envelope. She called Grandpa unique and handed me voluntary annexation paperwork. 3 pages of HOA gibberish designed to fold a working cornfield into a world of grass height restrictions. We declined. The next morning, she was at the farm. She'd traded her funeral black for what I call conqueror white. She marched across the property line and pointed at our fence, posts that had been there since the Eisenhower administration. "This fence," she announced, "creates an unsightly barrier that disrupts the flow of our community aesthetic." She handed me a check for $300 to replace a fence worth thousands. When I told her to leave, her smile sharpened like a blade. "Well then, I suppose we'll need to explore eminent domain alternatives." She started dictating into her phone. Property owners refused to comply. Escalation protocols initiated. She had no idea she was talking to a man who specialized in municipal law and property rights. Karen ramped up the campaign. Noise complaints about our rooster. Letters about unsightly agricultural equipment. She even called the health department, claiming our compost pile was a biohazard. She was a small-town dictator, and she assumed I was just another overwhelmed heir who would fold under pressure. She'd probably run this same playbook on dozens of others, wear them down with legal fees and bureaucratic exhaustion. But I fought corporate fraud and municipal corruption. This was just another Tuesday. She filed a 12-page complaint about olfactory disruption. I countered by pulling land survey records from 1857 and state right to farm protections. She tried to file a $2,000 lien for landscaping we never asked for. I demanded she produce the legal authority for it. Spoiler alert, she couldn't. Then she made her biggest mistake. She called me at work, screaming about legal intimidation, and threatening to file a complaint with the state bar. Filing a frivolous bar complaint against a sitting assistant attorney general? That's not just stupid, it's career suicide. I didn't just want to win. I wanted to bury her. I sued the HOA for harassment, fraudulent annexation, and violation of agricultural statutes. Discovery was absolute carnage. We found emails where Karen bragged about bringing the holdouts to heel. We found out she'd been diverting association funds into a private legal reserve for expansion emergencies. And the cherry on top? She'd been billing the HOA $150 an hour for legal consulting. Karen had taken exactly one community college course on legal research 15 years ago. During her deposition, Karen fell apart. I asked her to define community standards. She started rambling about livestock compatibility matrices. I asked for the legal authority for these standards. She handed me a binder full of printouts from Pinterest and Home and Garden magazine. The court reporter actually had to tell her to slow down because she was vibrating with rage. By the first hearing, her lawyer had withdrawn from the case. By the second, she was alone, clutching Wikipedia articles about property law. The judge was merciless. Karen was personally fined $12,000, removed from the board, and banned from any community leadership for 15 years. The HOA was ordered to pay damages and issue a public apology to every farmer they'd harassed. I walked down the courthouse steps to applause from the neighboring farmers. Karen stumbled out 20 minutes later, staring at her legal papers like they might disappear. "This isn't over," she hissed. "You can't just waltz in here and destroy everything I've built." I tucked my folder under my arm. "Karen, you didn't build a community. You built a racket. And I didn't waltz in, I was invited by the law." The farm is quiet now. The rooster crows at 4 a.m. exactly. The Eisenhower fence is still standing. And sometimes when I'm out feeding the chickens, I see Karen drive past in her quiet, compliant SUV. She doesn't look at the farm. She doesn't look at the fence. She just keeps her eyes on the road, following the rules, for the first time in her life.